Hello, hello. How are you today? Are you well? Yeah. I'm not too bad. The garden is starting to look very nice at the moment. I have done lots of work in the garden. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming back for more English, even in this situation. It's very good. I hope you have the time to learn some of the vocabulary every week on the vocabulary sheet, which you can download. So, do you remember some of the vocabulary from last week's lesson? What did we talk about? Yes, we talked about Tilly Parkins from Sydney. She was the rock climber, I think. So do you remember, how can you say in English, j'étais coincé, j'étais bloqué? Yeah. I was stuck. I was blocked, or I was stuck. Sometimes I was trapped as well. Yeah. So at the moment, you can say, I'm stuck inside all the time. Okay, good. How do you say un réservoir pour une voiture? Un réservoir. Yeah, it's a tank. So a tank of petrol, or a petrol tank. Okay. And how do you say, je suis en forme? Yeah. I am fit, but it's difficult to exercise a lot at the moment. Okay, and do you remember, how do you say je fais de la gymnastique? Yeah, it's I work out, I exercise, I do exercise, but there is a verb, is to work out. And a workout, c'est une séance d'exercice, is a workout. So, it was a good workout today. Oof. Okay, how do you say faire du vélo? Yeah, it's to go cycling. And remember this construction, go-ing, pour faire du ou faire de la. So I go swimming, I go walking, I go cycling, I go skiing. Not a lot at the moment. Okay, good. How do you say soigner quelqu'un in the hospital, for example? Yeah, it's to treat someone. So I was treated at the hospital. Okay, well, very good. And the homework was, I think, pages 50, 53 and 54. You had the exercise with have to. Yes, have to. It's this part here. So have to, or in the past, had to. Okay, is it possession, like I have something, or is it obligation, I have to? Yeah, I have a car, I have to clean my car, or have got, I've got a car, I've got to clean my car. Okay, remember, if you have a problem with the homework, don't hesitate to contact me on my email address if you have a problem. Okay, and remember, have got is just for the present. In the past, it's had to. So I've got to work today. Yesterday, I had to work. Okay, in the future, I will have to work. And remember, there's a little difference in pronunciation, very small. So I have a car, but I have to clean the car. Okay, so obligation is more have, yeah, and have with a v for possession. There's a little difference, just to help, listening, I think. Okay, and the negatives, remember, so I don't have to clean my car. It is not dirty. Yeah, I don't have to clean my car. So j'ai pas besoin. Yeah, there's no obligation. I don't have to. Or have got, I haven't got to. I haven't got to clean the car at the moment. Okay. So now today, I want to look again at obligation and different modal verbs. A modal verb, Dan. What is a modal verb? Oh, it's a very exciting subject. So a modal verb, because I know you are very interested in modal verbs. Oh, yes. So a modal verb is, for example, must, can, will, should, okay, could, would, shall, etc. So these verbs, you can see these verbs are auxiliary verbs. They are all auxiliary verbs. Now, do you say, I will go to town, he wills go to town? No. Now, these verbs, they do not have an S in the third person. Okay, so they're auxiliary verbs. There's no S, they are invariable. There's no S in the third person. Every person is the same. I will, he will, she will, it will, you will, etc. They don't change. So auxiliary verbs, no S, okay, in the third person, and there's no to in the infinitive. So the verb is not to will, to can, to would. No, there's no to when we use the verb. And remember, to make a question, so he can speak English. So the question, we invert the auxiliary, the first part. So he can speak English. Can he speak English? Okay. Will he go to town? Could he swim when he was 7 years old? Okay. Now, for obligation, we have to. It's not really a modal verb, have to. We normally use have to, well, we have to in the group of modal verbs because it has the function of obligation, but it's really not a modal verb. It's similar. Okay. It's not a modal verb. Now, must is a modal verb for obligation. Okay, so I have to go to town. I must go to town. Okay, now we have a problem, a big problem with the verb must. There's no future, there's no past for must. Okay, so I must go to town in the future. I will have to go to town. I must go to town in the past. I had to go to town. Okay, there's no future, there's no past. So you can see it's not a very flexible verb. Normally we prefer have to. Okay, but must exists. Okay, it does exist. It's quite strong. It's a strong. Yeah, it's normally when I have an obligation for myself. Like, oh, I must, go to see the doctor, for example. It's like a personal obligation. But have to, must, it's very, very similar. Now, last week we looked at should. So I should wash my car. It is a good idea. So should is like a conditional must. Okay? So je devrais nettoyer ma voiture. I should clean my car. And do you remember the negative? Yeah. So I shouldn't. It's not a good idea. Okay. So must and more conditional should. If you are interested, should is in fact the past for shall, but shall is not used as much now. Should continues. Okay. Now, do you have your books? You do? Fantastic. Can you turn to page 64? Page 64 in the book. And here, we have Annie. Annie. Who is Annie? Well, this is Annie. Annie is an agony aunt. An agony aunt. An agony aunt, Dan. What is that? Well, an agony aunt is the name for someone in a magazine or a newspaper or online, but normally in a magazine or a newspaper. They're the person that replies to problems. So the reader of the magazine has a problem. You can imagine, worries, things the person worries about, insecurities, relationship problems, my friend Bob, for example, maybe money problems, problems at work, addiction, gambling, etc. Okay, so people write letters, normally candid letters, to the magazine, and one person replies. This person, normally a woman, is the agony aunt. This is the name. Okay, so here we have Annie, and here we have dot, dot, dot. Well, different headings, different titles, different headings. Okay, well, read and listen to the problems, okay?
I'm 14 and I do gymnastics. I have to train 30 hours a week because my mum and my coach want me to try for the next Olympics. I like gymnastics, but I have no time for anything else in my life. My school friends tell me that I am missing all the fun. What should I do? My husband started playing online computer games last year. Since then, he has lost all interest in everything else, even me and our baby. He starts playing as soon as he gets up and begins again when he gets back from work. He gets angry if I talk to him about it. What should I do?
I'm in the army, and in my job, I have to give talks to large groups of people. The last time was a disaster because I was so nervous. My hands shook and I spoke too fast. How can I control my nerves? What should I do?
I'm 11 and my brother is 15. I think my mum and dad love him more than me. They've just bought him the best computer. They say he has to have it for his exams. I don't even have my own mobile phone, and I have to wear all his old clothes.
So, what did you think? Some difficult problems. Now, the reason for the agony aunt, the problem page, is because we want to give advice. What is a good verb for giving advice? Should. Should is a good verb for advice. So, what should each person do? What advice, can you give? So normally for advice we say, you should verb. You should verb. Okay. Well, in fact, here we have the very good advice from Annie, the agony aunt. Annie, the agony aunt. So read the advice. Okay, first stop the video, read the advice, and can you write the name of the person? So for example, is advice for Tracy, Paula, Mark, or Billy? So connect, match the advice and the problem and write the first name of the person. Okay? Is it okay? Did you find the first names? Okay, so just one or two words. Okay, so in B, in the advice, in B here, so we have a problem with addiction. So he won't accept, this person won't accept that he has a problem. This is he refuses to accept. He won't accept. So I say, for example, I won't fly. Yeah, I refuse to fly. Okay, so also to refuse. Or in C, what are feelings? Feelings. Yeah, le sentiment, your feelings. Okay, so he says, or she says, I'm sure your parents love you and your brother just the same. So in exactly the same way, just the same. Okay, it's just the same, it's exactly the same. Yeah. And you shouldn't, it's not a good idea, you shouldn't worry. Yeah. Donc, vous ne devriez pas vous inquiéter. Yeah, you shouldn't worry. So, to worry, s'inquiéter. Good. Okay. And then D. So, to get to the top. Yeah. Sometimes we use get with the sense arriver à faire quelque chose. Yeah. If you want to succeed, réussir, to go to the top. If you want to get to the top, obtenir la meilleure position, yeah, to go, to succeed, to go in a direction. Okay, so for example, if I say, I don't know, I went up the mountain. Why not? You can change a verb. I went up the mountain. Or in a car, I drove up the mountain, à pied. I walked up the mountain. Yeah. I don't know, I flew up the mountain in my helicopter. Yeah. You can change the verb. So the direction is up. And the sense to succeed, to go up the mountain because it was difficult. So imagine it was dark, it was cold, the mountain was steep, a steep mountain, but despite the ice, yeah, I managed to get up the mountain. I got up the mountain. Okay, this is the sense for get sometimes. Okay, so A, well, let's listen to the people. Okay, are you correct?
Dear Maud, good preparation is the answer. You must prepare well and practice a lot. The first 30 seconds are the most important. You should begin with a personal story. It will relax you and the audience. Dear Paula, more and more people worldwide have become addicted to this. He must get professional help, but this is difficult because he won't accept that he has a problem. I think you should show him this letter and visit the website olganon.org. Dear Billy, these feelings are very common between brothers and sisters. I'm sure your parents love you and your brother just the same. So you shouldn't worry about this. When you're older, you'll get your own phone and your own clothes. Dear Tracy, the fact is that to get to the top in sport, you have to train very hard indeed. You should talk to someone else about your doubts. I don't think you should listen to just your friends.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Why not? Just for fun. Okay. Now look at the grammar spot. Okay. So number one, he must get professional help. You should show him this letter. So what is stronger? Must or should? Yeah, it's must. Yeah, more obligation. Okay, and number two, so should and must are modal verbs. Your favourite. So what should I do? Que devrais-je faire? What should I do? You shouldn't, negative, worry about this. He must get help. So how do we make the question? So he must get help? Question. Must he? Yeah, you change the order. Must he get help? Okay. And the negative? Yeah. He mustn't. So I mustn't smoke in the house. Yeah. Interdiction, mustn't. Okay. And is there an S in the third person with modal verbs? No, there isn't. There's no S in the third person. Now, something very, very important. Now, I have to work. I must work. It's very, very close. Very, very similar. Okay? Little differences, not a lot. Have to is more used, or have got to. Okay? Now, the negative is very, very different. So, I don't have to wash my car. I mustn't smoke in the house. Do you see the difference? Yeah. So I don't have to, I haven't got to. This is no obligation. J'ai pas besoin. J'ai pas l'obligation. Okay. I mustn't smoke is interdiction. So mustn't, interdiction. Don't have to, haven't got to. There's no obligation. So the negative is very, very, very different. But the positive, must, have to, is similar. Okay, so be careful with the negative. Now, to practice this, okay, look at number 4. Okay, so here we have some sentences, and you have to, you must, or you can, why not, complete, okay, the sentences with the words here. So shouldn't, should, must, I don't think you should. Okay, there is more than one possibility. Okay, sometimes it depends. It's obligation, it's a good idea. Okay, but try to complete the sentences. Okay. Okay, no problems. Good. Well, let's listen now. Let's see if you are correct. And remember, it's a good idea to speak at the same time, to read out loud at the same time as the audio to practice speaking, because the video is not very good for speaking. So try to speak out loud at the same time. Okay, are you correct? Ready? Here we go.
Tape script 8.4. You should explain how you feel to your coach and your mother. However, in the end, the decision is yours and yours alone. You must decide your own future. Tell him firmly that he must change his ways or he'll lose his wife and family. Talk to all your friends and family about the problem. You shouldn't suffer alone. You should write your speech down, but I don't think you should read it aloud to the group. Just make notes to help you remember it. For more help, you should visit speechtips.com. You must talk to your parents about how you feel. And you shouldn't feel jealous of your brother. He's older than you, that's all.
Is it okay? So try to speak the audio out loud, or aloud is the same, à haute voix. Good. Well, just to continue to practice the verbs must, should, have to, have got to, very, very important verbs. Okay. Oh, remember, try not to say, I have the obligation, or I had the obligation. Okay. We don't say, for example, il fallait que. We don't say, I had the obligation to. No. We say, I had to. Okay. Now, look at page 65, exercise number 1. Exercise number 1. So again, we have some problems. So, I can't sleep at night. Okay. So, you can imagine some good advice. Ooh, Dan! You must, obligation, you must do more exercise. You have to do more exercise. You've got to do more exercise. Or maybe, it's not a good idea, you shouldn't drink 1 litre of Starbucks coffee just before bed, Dan. It's a stupid idea. Okay, maybe. Okay, or number 2. So I don't like my brother's new girlfriend. So what advice can you imagine? Ooh, you must, you should, you have to, you've got to, or maybe you shouldn't. Yeah, it's not a good idea. And you can imagine the rest. Okay. Or number 3, I've got an important exam tomorrow and I'm really nervous. I'm really scared. I'm really worried. Ooh, you should, you have to, you shouldn't, etc. Now, number 4, a boy in my class is bullying me. So to bully, c'est harceler. This is to bully someone, harceler quelqu'un. Okay. So a bully is the person who bullies. Okay, if you say my boss is a bully, il m'harcèle, he attacks me, he criticizes me, he bullies me. And now, of course, at school, we have cyber bullying. So bullying on the internet, with social media. It's a big problem now. So a boy in my class is bullying me. He is a bully. Oh, you should, you must, you have to, you've got to, you shouldn't, maybe you mustn't. Il ne faut pas. Or number 5, I'm hopeless. I'm hopeless at all sports. I have no talent. I'm hopeless. I'm terrible at sport. I'm hopeless. Or number 6, I fell over and I think I twisted my ankle. My ankle, j'ai tordu la cheville. I twisted my ankle. Or number 7, my computer se comporte. My computer is behaving now very strangely. Oh, you should, you have to, you must. And finally, un drôle de bruit. My car's making a funny noise. A funny noise. You should, you must, you have to. Now stop the video again to practice these different verbs. Try to imagine some advice for number 2 to number 8. Write some advice is to practice the different verbs. Have to, must, have got to, should, shouldn't, mustn't, could, why not? Okay, so try to write some sentences and then we will listen to some ideas and you can compare. Okay, so write some different sentences now. Is it okay? You have different ideas? So now we are going to listen to some ideas, okay, on the audio. You have the dialogue on page 129 in the book, so you can compare your ideas. Okay. If you want to check your grammar, to check your sentences, don't hesitate to send me your sentences and I can correct them. I am here, okay? Remember, my email address is danjbrown78@gmail.com. Okay, so don't hesitate to send me the sentences. Okay, but let's listen to the audio, the dialogue on page 129, and you can compare. Okay.
Tape script 8.5. Giving advice. 1.
I can't sleep at night.
You must do more exercise during the day. Why don't you walk to work? And you shouldn't drink so much coffee just before bedtime.
2.
I don't like my brother's new girlfriend.
I don't think you should tell your brother. I think you should try to find some good things about her.
3.
I've got an important exam tomorrow and I'm really nervous.
I don't think you should study any more today. You must get a good night's sleep tonight. Don't worry.
Oh.
I'm sure you'll pass, and if you don't, it's not the end of the world.
4.
A boy in my class is bullying me.
You must tell your teacher or ask your mum to talk to the teacher.
5.
I'm hopeless at all sports.
You shouldn't worry about that. Lots of people aren't very sporty. Think about all the things you are good at.
6.
I fell over and I think I've twisted my ankle.
Ooh, It looks bad. You must go to the doctor, or better still, A&E, and ask for an X-ray. I'll drive you. I don't think you should walk on it.
7.
My computer's behaving very strangely.
Mine does that all the time. You should do what I do. Turn it off, wait a while, then turn it on again. It's the only thing that ever works for me.
8.
My car's making a funny noise.
It sounds bad. You shouldn't drive it. You must ring the garage.
Okay, no problems. Different ideas. It's just suggestions. Okay, well, very good. Now, just to finish the same subject. So your opinion. So look at number 2. Number 2. What do you think? So what is your opinion? So if you want to learn English, okay. So we have different possibilities here. You have to. You don't have to. It's not necessary. You should. Maybe you shouldn't. It's not a good idea. Or you must. Okay. So look at the choices here. Different verbs, different ideas. So what is the best? If you want to learn English, what do you think? You have to... you have to work hard, for example. You must work hard. Okay. Maybe if you want to learn English, you have to learn the grammar. You must learn the grammar. Okay. If you want to learn English, you don't have to go to university. Okay. You don't have to. It's not necessary. You don't have to buy a dictionary. You can. Yeah. Probably you should buy a dictionary and translate every word. No, you don't have to translate every word. Okay. Sometimes the context is okay. Okay. What about if you want to, number 2, be successful? Yeah. To succeed, to have success in life. What do you think? Yeah. Maybe you should work hard. Maybe you have to work hard. I don't know. Okay. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you should go to university. Maybe you shouldn't go to university. It's your opinion. I don't know. Okay, good. Well, what about to keep fit? Rester en forme. To keep fit. Work hard? I don't know. You should work hard. You shouldn't work hard. I don't know. I don't know. Probably to keep fit, you must do some sport, I think. Normally. It's not automatic. Okay. To keep fit, you shouldn't smoke. Well, you can. Probably not a good idea if you want to be a top athlete, if you want to get to the top. Okay, so just different ideas. Now, next week I want to talk about sport again. In particular, I want to talk about this woman. this woman, Jessica Ennis. But you should do some homework. Yes, what an excellent idea. Now, this week, can you do, so in the book here, so should, can you do page 55? So is to make some sentences with have to, should, etc. I think you should. Okay. And then you must decide, is it obligation or advice? So have to or should. Sometimes both are possible. Okay. And then the next page, page 56. So again, I want to practice must. So use the verb must with the different verbs here. And then number 9, this is the most important. It is the difference with mustn't and don't have to. Remember, don't have to, no obligation, mustn't, interdiction. Okay, so it's a big difference, important difference. Okay, and also, why not? So can you listen and read, you have the text here, read and listen to the audio, and then complete the sentences with a word from the text and a number. Okay, so Linda has worked as a, what is her job? As a pilot for more than, so it's here, more than 10 years. So one word, one number. Okay? Okay, very good. But not the train driver. Okay, that's next week. Okay? So good luck. I hope the weather is good. You should make the most of the good weather. Go in the garden. Have a cocktail. Okay? Why not? Okay. So take care. Do the homework. Learn the vocabulary. And I will see you next week. Okay? Bye-bye.